Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will start our topic contribution of Muslim scientists. Contribution of Muslim scientists. Okay. Yesterday we have studied about the receptors in human, in which we have studied about the structure of an eye. Okay. Now today we will discuss the contribution of Muslim scientists. So you can see Ali ibn Isa. These all things are important for your MCQs. From 1950 to 1012 was a famous Arab scientist. He wrote 3 books on ophthalmology, okay, study of the diseases and surgery of eyes. Underline these things in your book. These all are important for your MCQs. He described 130 eye diseases. Underline in your book 130 eye diseases. Come to next page. Okay, now we will discuss about the I am telling about the and their function and their surgery method in detail. He was a very known scientist, a known Arab scientist. He was a very known and Arab scientist. He made many significant contributions. Okay, his book of optics. This is very important. Underline in your book optics. Correctly explain and prove the modern theory of vision. He discussed the topics of medicine and eye surgery in his book. He made several improvements to eye surgery. So look at the box. Ibnul Haytham's book of optics has been ranked alongside a book of Isaac Newton. It is one of the most influential books ever written in the history of physics. So this is very important. The working of Ibn Haytham in the field of optics. Okay, so this is very important. This is also important for your short question. Now come to your next part. It was a contribution of the Muslim scientists. Okay, now we will discuss about the owl. So owl is not able to see during daytime. The reason for this is the deficiency of cones which receives and sense the bright light. When we were studying the structure of an eye, in which we have studied that uh, 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 all living things have rods and cones in their in their eyes. So rods are responsible for bright light, and cones are responsible. Cones are responsible for bright light, and rods are responsible to see in dim light. So why owl is not able to see during daytime? Because the reason is that deficiency of cones which receives and send the bright light. So it has deficiency of cones inside the eyes, but the presence of more rods gives it greater power of vision during night. So owl is able to see at night very clearly as compared to daytime. So all animals that search for prey during night have this characteristic. So many animals and birds which search their food at night time, they all have this ability. It means they have more rods inside their eyes which help them to see in night. I hope you understand it. Okay. Now today we will discuss the second receptor in human. I have told you receptors means your sense organs. Before that we have discussed in a detail about the eye. Now we will discuss about the ear. Ear is also a sense organ. So how it is work and how many parts it consists of we will discuss in this topic. So hearing is an important as vision. This is true. As vision is important, so like that as hearing is important. So our ear help us in hearing and also to maintain the balance or equilibrium of our body. So ear perform two important functions. First, it help us for hearing, and secondly, it maintain the balance or equilibrium of our body. Equilibrium to balance our body. So ear has three main parts: external ear, middle ear, and internal ear. So it also consists of three parts: external ear, middle ear, and internal ear. So first of all, we will discuss about the external ear. So if you see your screen, you can see external ear consists of important parts. First is pinna, second is auditory canal, and third one is eardrum. So now we will discuss in detail what is that. External ear consists of pinna, auditory canal, and eardrum. These three parts are the important part of external ear. Okay, pinna is the broad external part made of the cartilage. Cartilage means soft bone and covered with skin. It helps to direct sound waves in auditory canal. It receives the sound waves and directs them into the auditory canal. There are special glands in the walls of auditory canal which produce wax. We all of know we have some wax inside our ear. So pinna receives sound waves and sent into auditory canal. Inside the auditory canal there are special cells which produce wax. So why it is important? The wax and the hairs in auditory canal protect the ear from small insects. So what is the role of wax inside the ear? They work like fine hairs in our nose as they stop the dust particles to enter into our nose. So like that, the wax and the hairs in auditory canal protect the ear from small insects, germs, and dust. In addition to this, they help to maintain the temperature and dampness of auditory canal. So auditory canal ends in eardrum. This thin membrane separates external ear from middle ear. So it consists of external ear consists of three parts. Pinna. Pinna is the outer part of the ear. It is made of cartilage, means soft bone and covered with skin. It receives sound waves, and then pinna send these sound waves to auditory canal. You can see sending to auditory canal. Auditory canal has wax and fine hairs inside them. So the role of wax and fine hair is that to stop the dust particles, to stop the small insects enter into the ear. And then auditory canal ends in eardrum. It is a thin membrane which separates external ear to the middle ear. Now we will discuss about the middle ear. What is middle ear? What is the middle ear? Look at the ear, middle ear. What is the middle ear? The middle ear is a chamber after external small bones. Middle ear is the chamber after external. Middle ear is a chamber of after external ear. Three small bones called middle ear. Ossicles are present in a chain in middle ear. These movable bones include malleus, incus, and stapes. Malleus is attached with eardrum, then comes incus, and finally stapes that is connected with the membrane called oval window. So if you see, middle ear consists of three bones. It has oval window and it has eustachian tube. So it consists of three parts, small three bones, oval window and eustachian tube. So these all perform different functions. So when the sound waves enter into the eardrum has three small bones, malleus, incus and stay. First is malleus, then incus and then stay. So the vibration began to produce in these three bones, first in malleus, then incus, and then stapes. And finally stape that is connected with a membrane called oval window. So oval window separates middle ear from inner ear. In previous topic, we have studied that that eardrum is a thin membrane which separates our external ear to the middle ear. So in the middle ear, oval window is a membrane which separates middle ear to the inner ear. So oval window separate middle ear from inner ear. Middle ear also communicates with the nasal cavity through the nasal cavity uh, uh, with the nasal cavity through eustachian tube. This tube regulates the air pressure on both sides of eardrum. This is new for you. Middle ear communicate with the nasal cavity. We all of know, we also study in the respiratory system that nasal cavity consists of your nose and the holes which enters into which open into your throat. So the pressure of the air which comes into our voice box due to respiratory due to breathing. So this pressure it connects the nasal cavity with the middle ear. So this passage there is a lot of air pressure is produced over that area. So eustachian tube holds that pressure and maintain the air pressure inside the ear and in the nasal cavity. So the important role of eustachian tube is that it maintains the pressure which is coming from nasal cavity and it balance when it enters into the ear. So this tube regulates the air pressure on both sides of eardrum. After that, there is a inner ear. First of all, we will discuss the sidewalk. Stapes is the smallest bone of the human body. This is very important. Underline in your book for MCQs. Hold the fingers of your palm close to each other and place it behind the pinna. Then concentrate on a particular sound continuously having the same frequency. Remove the palm and concentrate on the same sound again. So um, it's an experiment. Okay, hold the fingers of your palm close to each other and place it behind the pinna, and then concentrate on a particular sound. And when you remove the your hands, you can also listen that sound again. So now we will discuss the inner ear. Inner ear consists of vestibule, semicircular canals, and cochlea. It also consists of three parts: vestibule, semicircular canals, and cochlea. So what are the functions of these parts in inner ear? Inner ear consists of three parts, that is vestibule, semicircular canals, and cochlea. Vestibule is present in the center of inner ear. Three canals called semicircular canals are posterior to the vestibule. You can also see this is the inner part of the ear. This is the vestibule and it is held by a semicircular canals which are in a round form. These are called semicircular canals. It is connected with the semicircular canals. So semicircular canals are posterior to the vestibule. The cochlea is made of three ducts and wraps itself into a coil tube. Sound receptor cells are present within the middle duct of cochlea. So sound receptors are present in the middle duct of the cochlea. So now we will discuss how we will see the diagram and then we understand it. You can also understand the diagram and you can also understand the how the hearing work in your ear. So you can see this is the external ear. Okay, external ear consists of three parts: pinna, this is the outer ear, it is made of cartilage, it is made by cartilage, soft and covered with skin. Pinna receive the messages. I am also explaining how the process of hearing is work. So pinna receive the sound waves and send it to the auditory canal. This is an auditory canal. It is also the part of your external ear. In the auditory canal, it has a cells which produce wax and it also has fine ear. So what is the function of these wax and cells hairs inside the auditory canal? Because they stop the dust and insects to enter into the ear, and thirdly they maintain the temperature. So after that, then there is a eardrum come. This is an eardrum, okay, and here your external ear is separated. So eardrum is a thin membrane which separate external ear to middle ear. From here the middle ear is started. Okay, so you will see this is an eardrum which separate external ear to middle ear. In the middle ear it also consists of middle ear bones, which are three: malleus, incus and staph. Okay, it also consists of oval window. You can also see this is an oval window. Okay, and third one, it is also consist of eustachian tube. You can also see this is a eustachian tube. These are three parts of middle ear: eustachian tube, three bones and oval window. So when the sound waves reaches to the eardrum, then these three bones are present inside the middle ear. So they are connected to each other, so they began to vibrate. So because of that, what is happen, the sound is produced. And eustachian tube, its function is that it maintains the pressure between nasal cavity and inside the ear. So it maintains the air pressure. So oval window is the last part which separate middle ear from the inner ear. Middle ear is ended till the oval window. Then after that, inner ear has been started. Inner ear consists of cochlea. It is a circular canals filled with fluid. Okay, it also consists of semicircular canals. Okay, and it also consists of nerves which are connected to the brain. Okay, so when the sound reaches over here in the cochlea, the sound began to produce, it began to vibrate. And because of that, the message goes to our brain through nerves. This is a nerve which send message to our brain, and then our brain again back send back message to our ear that this sound is pleasant or not pleasant, should we listen and should we avoid. Okay, so this is the function of ear. This is external ear, this is middle ear, and this is the inner ear. Okay, come to your next page. The process of hearing. The process of hearing. The process of hearing. What is that? You can see in your book. The finger of the external ear focuses and directs sound waves into auditory canal. So the sound waves strike eardrum and produce further vibrations and produce further vibrations. And produce further vibrations. You can see. Okay, further vibrations in malleus, incus, and then stapes. From stapes, the vibrations strike the oval window. This is the last part of middle ear, and then reach the fluid filled, uh, fluid filled middle duct, which is called cochlea. The fluid of cochlea is moved and receptor cells are stimulated. The receptor cells generate a nerve impulse which travels to brain and is interpreted as sound. Okay, so soundless words. Deafness is a state in which hearing is not possible. Deafness is a disease in which a person cannot listen, cannot hear, cannot feel the sound. So the defect of eardrum, cochlea, middle ear ossicles, or auditory nerve may cause deafness. Underline these things in your book for your MCQs. The defect of eardrum, cochlea, middle ear ossicles means three middle ear bones or auditory nerve may cause of deafness. Infection in eustachian tube may spread to middle ear too. So eardrum may be damaged by an infection in auditory canal. Excessive noise, strong blows on cheek, pointed objects entering auditory canal, and attack from insects may also affect hearing. So these are the reasons. These are very important for your MCQs. Now, ears maintain the body balance. This is also very important. Semicircular canal and vestibule help to maintain the balance of our body. This is very amazing and interesting that how ears can maintain the balance on. Yes, this is true because semicircular canals contain sensory nerves which can detect any movement of head. So we all of know that our movements of head also controlled by our sensory nerves. So vestibule and can detect any change in the posture of body. So the neurons coming from these receptors reach cerebellum through the auditory nerve. So this is very important. This also comes into a short way how ears maintain the balance of body. Okay. Now we will discuss the thunderstorm. A thunderstorm is characterized by the presence of a thunderstorm is characterized by the presence of lightning and a thunder. The lightning is caused by an electrical charge due to the movements of water droplets or crystals carried by the wind. The sudden increase in pressure and temperature from lightning precedes rapid expansion of the air. The expansion of air produces a sound of thunder. The flash of lightning is followed after some seconds by a roar of thunder. This time difference is due to the fact that sound travels slower than light. Thunderstorm, we all of know that when lightning and sound both are produced. Okay, and we also know that first lightning comes, then sound is produced. So this is the procedure of thunderstorm. Okay, how is it? It is caused by electrical charge due to the movement of water droplet crystals in the wind. So the sudden increased pressure and temperature from lightning produce expansion of the air. So that's why we can feel the so we can see due to this fact the sound travels slower than light. So this is very amazing that due to the in thunderstorm due to the expansion of the air, first the sound comes in the ground, then we first the light comes into the ground, then we listen the sound. So it is also the part of your hearing. I hope you understand it, the structure of ear. uh, there is another important thing about the ear that all ears at the end of the inner ear we all have a special liquid inside our ear. Actually this is a liquid which help us to maintain the balance of our body. Our ears are approximately 15 centimeter 15 to 20 centimeter too far away to each other, so they help us our body to coordinate and to maintain the balance of our body. So ears are not only help us in hearing, but also they maintain the balance and put and engage our body in an equilibrium state. So I hope you understand it. Now our topic receptors in human. This has been ended. Now we will, from tomorrow, we will start our chemical coordination. And I have told you that chemical coordination consists of our endocrine system. An endocrine system means a system which consists of different types of glands and hormones. So your lecture has been ended. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you so much. Students, if you want to ask any question, raise your hand. It is there any question? It is there any issue? Is there any question you can ask? Is it clear to you? Please give me response.